Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty and today's episode is all about the Scrap Backwards group. If you don't know what that group is, they encourage you to use up older supplies and build a scrapbook kit starting with an old product and working your way up to the photos you want to use with this kit. So I am starting with this, I think it's a Becky Higgins Project Life pack of embellishments, and I've had these in my stash for quite a while and I do really like them, but the colors have been hard for me to work with. So then the next thing I pulled was this pack of brads that also has been in my stash for a long time, and it adds in more colors to the red and black from the previous pack, and so that helped me build a kit of pattern papers based on orange, red, and shades of blue. And of course, I'm going to throw in some white cardstock. I'm going to add in some older washi tape in colors that have not been my favorite to use. And then I found a few stars that have been hanging out in my stash for a while. So let's see what we can do with this. I'm going to do one layout process video for you today. And hopefully if I get any more projects done, I'll post those over on Instagram. I'm going to start off with this photo of my daughter at Easter time. Not a super fabulous or exciting photo, but that's okay. I don't mind using photos like that. And since it is an Easter layout and my kit isn't particularly Eastery, I did decide to pull that flowery piece of paper to help set the stage. And I'm going to go ahead and back it with this orange for some nice contrast and also for that lighter color. And when I'm working with smaller kits, I will often gut my paper, as you saw me do there, so that I have more bits and pieces of that paper to use across several layouts. Now, when I build a mini kit like this, I expect to get between 2 and 4 layouts depending on what I've got going on. So keeping those cut out parts helps create more supplies for future layouts. So I've got the bones of my layout started with this frame design. And then I'm going to go ahead and map my photo to create a space for the photo to live. And here at first I thought I was just going to do a small mat around my photo, but I decided to extend that mat much longer so that photo is a bit heavier on the layout. It takes up more space and more presence. Since it is not a great photo, it's hard to tell what's going on in it, I do want to give it more focus. And so I've got that extra long mat that will become another spot for embellishing, and also it's going to hold my journaling later as well. So that puts the weight and the focus there on my photo. So then I'm going to go ahead and turn to some of these embellishments to start building some embellishment cluster. And I pull that one because it has blues and oranges in it, and it's nice big. It looks like a flower as well. So it's going to start setting the Easter mood. Now, like I said, these set of supplies have nothing to do with Easter, and that is okay with me. I'm going to pick and pull the things that I think can help set the mood. So florals I'm finding in this set of supplies. I found that little tag up there that says 04, and last year Easter was in April, so that sets the date. I've got a little strip going on that has the days of the week, and I will mark off the Sunday on that little strip somehow. I haven't decided quite how yet. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting my embellishment clusters together. If you ever struggle with embellishment clusters, I'd like to give you a couple of tips. So in each of my cluster, I try to include 3 different sizes of items, sometimes 4 or 5, depending on how my cluster goes. I like to include some dimension, so something like the brads that pop up off the page. I also like to overlap the bits and pieces so that they work as a cluster and not just individual pieces that were just sprinkled on the page. And especially with this little frame cluster up here, like I said, I do like to overlap, so that little phrase tag in there is going to underlap and overlap. So building up those layers is something that I really like to do with my clusters. Now I am working with some acetate pieces, and if you have a hard time with acetate, I just put a little liquid glue behind the darkest part of the acetate, and that's usually enough to hold it in place. And so those are just some really small tips on building up clusters. And I'm going to continue working on various elements of this page. Oh, I decided that my title, even though I forgot to put alphabets in this kit, that's okay. I'm just gonna, for each page that I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go to my stash and find something that will work. And that will give me the flexibility, I think, to bring in an element to the layout that helps with the theme just a little bit more. So I used some washi tape there from my kit, all 3 of those different washies, to build a landing place for my title. And then I'm turning back to my brads because the brads and those embellishment clusters were the focus of this kit. I want to be sure to get a lot of those bits and pieces used up. So I am going to add a little brad to each of my embellishment clusters, like I said, because that adds texture and dimension. And it also adds another element of scale. So like I said, I like to add 3 different sizes, so a large, medium, and small item, and then sprinkles of other things here and there depending on how my clusters are going. So these brads are a great final small item to add to a cluster. And here in this upper cluster, I am sure to overlap that brad with the elements up there. And then I decided this little tag is going to be where my journaling will be, and I'm going to, since it has a little hole in it, it's a good place for another brad. And so I'm just adding more brads here and there. I'm going to add a row of 3 brads down along underneath where my title's going to be. And the circle of these brads kind of sort of remind me of Easter eggs in a very roundabout way. And I picked floral prints there to help with the mood again, because none of these products are Easter. And then I did go to my stash and pull out this kind of corally red, not red, corally orange alphabet set, which kind of goes with a little bit of the orange I have in some of those brads. And whenever I'm spelling titles on a landing strip here, I always go backwards with my spelling so that I know the edge of my word will be touching right up where I want it to be. So that's it for this time around. Super quick, simple, straightforward layout, but I hope you got a few tips and tricks that will help you along your way in your own crafting. If you got anything useful out of this video, I do appreciate a thumbs up because that really does help my channel. I have my Freebie Friday video coming up for you in just a couple of days. Next week, I will have 3 new videos for you as well. So thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time.